Black Power, Hotep, brothers and sisters. Um, what I wanted to talk to you all about today is I was thinking about the fact that a few generations ago we had the Big Mama. Not even a few, just a couple of generations ago, you had the Big Mama that was the cornerstone of the home that kept her energy and her spirituality kept everybody intact, gave everybody hope and faith. She always was there for healing purposes. Very spiritual. Had a set of principles and a set of morals that were not to be bent or broken. You know, and several years later, that image in the black home has been taken out based on the fact that you got punks and faggots like that faggot ass Tyler Perry who's taken the Big Mama image and made a goddamn joke and ridicule out of that whole concept, out of that whole figure, out of that whole Big Mama energy, and traded that tradition, that African tradition, in for comedy, for some fucking Medea bitch, and that has a lot to do with the after effects of the crack epidemic, because the crack epidemic has really destroyed shit in ways that people can't even imagine. And I'm not going cut no corners and and talk with my motherfucking legs crossed, all formal and shit. You know that epidemic had got to the point that you had teenagers, getting head from grandmothers that were strung out on crack. Young boys pulling trains on people's mothers and shit. 14 and 15-year-old boy on top of a 60-year-old woman, for a $5 hit of motherfucking crack. And see, we don't talk about that shit, man. How you used to, I know I used to see, the elderly, man, walking the streets in the middle of the night with microwaves and all this shit in their motherfucking hands, for a $5 or $10 hit, and they end up fucking somebody that they were old enough to be their grandson. That they went to school with their grandmothers, and now they land, now she's giving him motherfucking head. You know, and that shit is disgusting. And you motherfuckers that participated in that shit, man, not only should you be ashamed of yourself, but it should be some type of motherfucking severe penalty for that, because you consciously knew what you were doing. What was so important and necessary about having to do that and sodomize that woman for a goddamn hit of crack, opposed to, you know, um, dating somebody and have a steady girlfriend. Because see, it's always like this. You motherfuckers that talk about people all the time and you know, and do shit to people. When the slightest shit is done to you, you explode. You fall the fuck out. Especially you motherfuckers that talk about people all the time. Soon as you get whiff that somebody say anything about you, you spaz the fuck out. You fall the fuck straight out. You know, and that's the same way. What if it was your mother? You couldn't tolerate that if it was your mother or grandmother out there, giving head to the motherfucker in your class, in your high school class. And they talking about that shit in the bathroom, during a break time, in school. But it's okay, it's okay for you to do it. And that's because for real, motherfuckers that done shit like that, a lot of them they borderline punks and fags anyway, because they doing that to make sure they have some level of manhood, because they motherfucking punks, you know. And so these the type of motherfuckers when they go into these concentration camps, they should be pressed out to the maximum effect. You know, make them motherfuckers iron underwear, have them niggas clipping motherfuckers toenails. I'm talking about people, motherfuckers who are in that type of lifestyle, cause no real man ain't gonna have another man do that. But I'm talking about that 10%, that engages in that type of behavior. They should be, sent to the sodomites, and it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that was just something that one of the things that the crack epidemic had destroyed was that grandmother, that big mama image, along, and then Tyler Perry putting the icing on the cake with that Medea shit, and then I've heard people say, yeah, man, she funny. She funny. Medea, she funny as I don't know what. She funny as shit. That let me know where you at. I never purchased that. I don't watch that type of shit. No man dressed up as a woman. There's nothing funny about that shit. And not only that, if you look at Tyler Perry, because a lot of motherfuckers look up to him and respect him. That's because he got money. And he has his own studio, and people kiss his ass, hoping that they can get a shot or a part in one of his motherfucking plays or his movies. But I'm talking about the motherfuckers that ain't into that shit, such as myself. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? And the things that these guys had to do to get a part, because you got to fuck Tyler. You got to fuck him in his ass. You got to spend the night with him naked in the bed to get a motherfucking part. And he has a motherfucking overwhelming sexual thirst for light skinned motherfuckers. Cause you see all his heroes and heroes in his shows are light skinned brothers, and all his villains, all his sets, are melanated brothers, and Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, Oprah, Monique, all of them have issues with black men. All of them have issues with black men. Oprah's a billionaire, don't even have a man. The nigga, this Stepman grandma, he sleeps in the motherfucking guest house out there where the rakes and motherfucking lawnmowers and shit at, because he's a motherfucking gump. Him, Michael Eric Dyson, who got caught, on the getting on the airplane at the airport with 8-9 inch motherfucking dildos in his suitcase. Tavis Smiley, Cornel West, Michael Eric Dyson, all them that's a clique. That's the little fuck boy clique that they got. They sword fighting and all that shit. Cause once a year in Atlanta, all of them motherfuckers get together for a sexual ritual. And they have to do that in order to maintain their status in Hollywood. Cause no black man walks out of there unblemished. Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Diddy, 50 Cent, all of them motherfuckers have participated in a same-sex ritual, in Atlanta to secure a spot in Hollywood. All of them, no matter how hard they may play, and walking down the street drinking gin and juice and all that, keeping it gangster, and you a window shopper and in the club. All that's just a front. Motherfuckers cut up. They gotta take all that shirt off on stage and walk around switching and all this shit on stage, and where my bitches at and all that. Cause when you got disrespect for them queens, that's a clear indication that you like men, because you don't have any respect for the women. Now, if you really love queens, you'll never disrespect them, calling them bitches and all that shit, trifling hoes and all that. That's because you don't like women. It's real simple. But we don't want to talk about that. We just want to focus on, the poor. We want to focus on who deserved to die in the hood and all this shit and arguing among each other, and trying to impress this motherfucking cracker. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real deadly situation, mentally deadly situation that we're in, because you talking about spiritual corruption. You talking about spiritual and moral manipulation. You talking about turning in your manhood, you know what I'm saying, in exchange for some money and for some toys, for some perishable items that you can't take with you when you go. I never seen a U-Haul truck at the cemetery. You can't take none of this shit. And then at the end, you have no soul because you traded your soul in to jump on stage and have people hollering your name. Preferably men. People like Birdman, that's openly bisexual. They say he fucks with men and women, you know, and motherfuckers that have reckless sexual behavior like that. Now he fucking with Tony Braxton. You know what I'm saying? Because she put herself in a position where, now she's thugging, and who knows? Hopefully she don't catch nothing from him. Because when you got all those tattoos and Baphomet sketched in your motherfucking head and your dome and all that bullshit, and you done been in all types of motherfucking rituals and sacrifices and all that type of shit, and been, the bed with men and women. You know what I'm saying? Now, Tony Braxton at the level, she wanna maintain her status, her economic status. So she's willing to do this. You know what I'm saying? She's willing to fuck with this motherfucking punk. You know, just so she can continue to wear Louis Vuitton shit and all that motherfucking bullshit. And their whole family is like that. And I talked about that on my last video clip. But she's not the only one. It's a lot of them that's doing that, and what they do. If you listen to, I think it's the Chronic album with Dr. Dre when he first come on, when the album first come on, it's a young guy in there, looking to get a record deal, and Dr. Dre said, he has to, give his ass up to get the deal, and so, as it plays, you can hear Dr. Dre actually having sex with the young boy. You know what I'm saying? And just like Tupac and Suge was saying, they couldn't get him to focus on his music because he was so busy engaging in homosexual behavior. Why do you think he was chosen to get those beat headphones? Because of what he done. He sacrificed his son, because I believe they laid him down and gave him a shot of heroin, because the brother wasn't, that young man was not a heroin addict. But he all of a sudden he dies of a heroin overdose, and then a couple of months later, Dre becomes the richest hip hop motherfucker in the business with these beat headphones. You have to understand the dynamics. Same way with Michelle A. Now she wants to get paid, so she's willing to, to put herself out there to make herself look like she's so innocent. But look at her track record. She got children by Suge Knight and Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Ruthless, brainless mother, big brute, big 300-pound empty head motherfucker. And a bisexual. You know what I'm saying? But she's willing to do that, so everybody wants to get paid. Everybody wants to be in Hollywood. Holly weird. Those are things that our people do. And they're focusing on the issues that are plaguing us in the black community. Homelessness, infant mortality, starvation. The poverty level is extremely high in the black community. But you think you think poverty is just, some little baby standing in the middle of the street with no shirt on, with big stomachs, with flies around them. That's not poverty. That's starvation to the extreme. But I'm talking about poverty. Most of our babies go to bed at night without a full course meal. Because of the fact of the drug subculture. Where these sisters selling their food stamps and for drugs, and they leave the children to fend for themselves, or these grandmothers have to come in. And they play a major part. These grandmothers, but we don't see that. That has been erased out and it overshadowed by this Medea shit. So because it's plenty of big mamas out here, plenty of them. You know what I'm saying? But we have been blinded by this motherfucking faggot, to recognize these big mamas, because they have really saved a lot of children's lives. Because you ask most of these babies right now, if you ask these young men at the ages of 15 on up to 24. Most the majority of them will say, they were raised by their grandmother. You know, because the father was placed, he did time, and he's been stripped. And I see a lot of the disenfranchised and the brothers who have just given up hope, have just engulfed themselves into an abyss of drugs and alcohol. Trying to drown and numb, block the situation and their conditions out. From being in and out of motherfucking prison, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Then they come home, never getting any type of assistance, never getting any type of drug treatment, or any type of vocational training. So when they come home, and try to look for a job, and the people ask them, your resume's got gaps like a motherfucker, and you can't clearly explain it because you have no your social skill game is on zero. Well, I was, in the phase and shit, and, and, and that's no one's, don't get me wrong, that's no one's fault but yours, because, a lot of you motherfuckers, when you get on the bus and see the average brother, between the ages of 57, 58, and 60s, in their early 60s, that's basically their conversation. They talk about how they, worked in the kitchen in the penitentiary, and, how they were in charge of the fucking eggs and counted all the motherfucking slices of bologna and all this bullshit, because they counted when they went there. Out here they don't, they're nothing out here. You know what I'm saying? So that's, basically, only thing that they know, in sports. But you had a good percentage of brothers, such as myself, who read constantly. I read over 1,100 books. You know what I'm saying? Exercising. Never got involved with no fags and all that bullshit. That's not in my DNA. You know what I'm saying? And just self-educated. Elijah Muhammad had a second grade education. Malcolm dropped out in the 5th or 6th grade. Noble Drew Ali had no education. Garvey had no education. But they were able to create movements and organizations, and make an impact, in not only just in America, but just in the black community, to give us hope, to give us something to stand on, to let us know who we really were. But every time we get somebody that's in that that stands up for us, they either tear them down and destroy them, or they use us to destroy them. It hasn't been that one brother or sister that stood up in the face of this motherfucking cracker and of this devil, ready to deal with his motherfucking ass and ready to take him down and out without the help of without the help of our own people that look like him to bring them down. And we don't discuss these things because we're scared. We are afraid, so we rather go along to get along. Don't rock the boat. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what color you are and all this shit. There's only one race, the human race, and all these goddamn excuses. You can't tell that to the police when he pull your ass over at night. There's only one race, only one color, and all that. He don't see it like that. He got his hand on the trigger ready to bust your motherfucking brain open. And then we talk that motherfucking biblical bullshit, and that's nothing but some motherfucking spookism that keeps us fucked up. And the cracker knows that. The cracker knows that. You never seen no spiritual motherfucking white cracker. But you seen spiritual. You see us, black people, spiritual. All day living in most wretched motherfucking conditions, but they got a picture and all that junk and garbage and fucking rats and shit in their house. On the wall, they got a picture of a cracker motherfucking Christ with the motherfucking light, Christmas light, with the gold motherfucking frame. You know what I'm saying? And they still, got faith that this imaginary motherfucking cracker gonna come and save them after the cracker then put you in this position. You see how contradictory and how spiritually schizophrenic that shit sounds? And that's why I say we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do, but it starts within self first. We can't expect things to change until self change. And that takes the way you get conscious is you have to understand where you come from, who laid their lives out for you, people who died for you, besides the people you be reading about in them books. And you ain't never seen none of them motherfuckers. Them imaginary people that they tell you supposed to honor and praise that died for you. But what about your great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather who died for you? Who was nailed to the motherfucking wood and whipped beyond recognition and all this type of shit. They took vicious rapings, being pissed on, having to eat horse feed and all this shit, having muzzles over their mouths, bells with steel braces around their motherfucking neck, tied to motherfucking horses and all this type of shit, man. Having the sisters get their babies cut out their stomachs at 9 months, hung upside down. And everybody had to watch so the adrenaline and the fear can't go into your DNA. Because that's why you scared now, this motherfucker. Everybody's afraid to die. Everybody's afraid to lay their life down. But it's not going, without bloodshed, it's not going to be any progress. It's just that simple. Because this cracker just going to get more vicious and more vicious. And the more you talk that I'm going to pray for them and all this, they're not going to never change. They're the only species. The sun is the premier element of the universe. It gives light and life to everything. Every little ant, every grain of sand gets light and life from the sun. Except one motherfucking species, that's that goddamn cracker. Can't get along with the sun. And if you can't get along with the sun, you have no business in existence. And they know that. But they know that you don't know that. Anybody that get close to putting that message out and exposing them, they get rid of them. And when are we going to have the heart to step to this motherfucker so we can go ahead and give our babies a shot at liberation? At least give them a shot. At least open the door up for them. What they do with it, it'll be up to them, because we will be moved on to another dimension. But at least open the door or kick the door down for them. If you love them. You know, because a lot of us are in love with self. You know, because we don't feel like nothing. Because by watching that TV and by listening to this cracker tell you that if you're not driving this, if you don't have this on, if you're not working here, you don't have this in your pocket, you're nothing but a mere peasant and shit like that. And we buy into that, you know, because when you look at wealth, let me give you the example of wealth. We own, you have 99% of the people own 1% of the wealth, and you got 1% of the population that owns 99% of the wealth. In other words, 99 people have to split one cookie, and then you got one motherfucker that has 99 cookies for himself. That's the difference. That's the wealth. That's the wealth situation with these crackers, man. So all that we come a long way, we made progress. No, what they do, same way they did in slavery. Certain people get trinkets. Certain people get a piece of bacon. Come to the side door and get your bacon because you was a good nigga. You helped us tackle this motherfucker nigga that tried to run off the plantation. You've been a good nigga today. Charles Barkley, Stephen A. Smith, y'all been some good niggas. Michael Jordan, good niggas. Oprah Winfrey, you know what I'm saying? Even in the Senate, John Lewis, uh, Barack Obama, um, Charlie Rangel, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Cornel West, Michael Eric Dyson, Tavis Smiley, Roland Martin. You been some good motherfucking niggas. Gail, the woman that Oprah bumps pussies with. They, cut each other's carpet and all that bullshit. You know, uh, Tyra Banks, Taraji P. Henson, and Terrence Howard, Pharrell Williams, Common. The list go. It's just unlimited. Tay Diggs. It just keeps going on and on about you coon motherfucking niggas and you fucking bed wenches and you whores to the slave master. And it has to be input to this. Because we're going to have to pretty soon we're going to explode. It's just like knocking on the door and say you hungry. You knock on people, and the door you knock on, they got food stacked up to the ceiling. And they don't open the door. They tell you no. Then you come back again. You try to be nice. They tell you no. Now you bang on the door pretty hard. You're hungry now. Your stomach is cracking. And they tell you no. Now then you go ahead and knock the motherfucking door down and take it. That's where we at. That's where we at with black liberation and salvation. That's exactly where we at. And until things change, until it's a redistribution of the wealth in this country, because like I said, it's a process. The first thing has to be done. The boycott all holidays. That's the first thing that has to be done. That's the first step. Boycott all holidays. No more donating to the churches. $50 million a week goes into those gold pans, to pay for these pastors, their Bentleys, their jets, their Lear jets, their $4,000 or $5,000 suits, their alligator shoes, the wife, to keep herself manicured. You know what I'm saying? That shit has to be abolished, demolished. Take that money from them holidays, that 50 to $100 billion from Christmas and Thanksgiving. You take that and you put it in an escrow. The next step is you evict every non-black business in the hood. 30 to 45 days, get the fuck out of Dodge, or you will be annihilated. No questions asked, no excuses, no exceptions. Third, you start to build the black businesses in the black community. A fish market, a black-owned dollar store, no liquor stores, no motherfucking carryouts, you know, everything is on an organic level now, so we can restore the thought process and the thinking of our people. Next, you have to buy the councilman, the councilman and the mayor. They have to be in our pockets. Our district councilman works for us. You do what we tell you to do, motherfucker, or you're out of here. Next, you get your police department and your judicial system in order. You buy all of that. Our own police force. No more shooting no more crackers coming through there shooting brothers. Because you're not allowed. You can't come in this area. We got police. We have a police force. Stay the fuck out of here. Then media, all that motherfucking rapping about bitch hole killing motherfuckers, drugs and all that's abolished. No more of that on the airways. Period. We buy our own radio station, every radio station in the hood, and plug up to 1 to 5 TV stations. All positive music, period. All conscious music, jazz, progressive jazz, opera, not opera, classical music, because we invented that. That's not the white man's, that's not the cracker shit. Beethoven was black. He was a Moor, Tovin Bey. Excuse me 1 second. So, she was hanged upside down. So, and then after the sports, we don't need but 6 football teams, 6 basketball teams. And then 2 games are played, 2 games are televised, and the other hours are spent on filming graduations from black universities, colleges, and universities, so we can see so the babies can see who are going to be the future lawyers, the doctors, the surgeons, the engineers, the PhDs, the masters, the BAs, the AAs. Let our babies see this so it can give them some hope, because all they see on TV, on CSI and fucking Grey's Anatomy is and House and all that bullshit is crackers perform these motherfucking operations, and crackers defending and prosecuting our people on TV. No more of that court TV shit. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that are going to help us get liberated. And those who don't want to comply with that, the fuck out. Just get the fuck out. You're going to be eliminated and annihilated. You'll be given a certain period of time to comply and to get with the motherfucking program, or else suffer the consequences. Because your money don't mean nothing no more. Because the black economic communities are booming economically. And you're not allowed to come in and invest shit. You can come in and give, but you cannot take nothing out of here. It's just that simple. And that process, I truly believe, will work. I truly believe it'll work. But it's going to take a generation or two for it to actually come into fruition. But I'm going to get back with y'all. And, another thing, what I wanted to talk about is you motherfucking You internet gangsters, you hide behind social media, and you talk all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you motherfuckers record people's conversations, like record men's conversations like faggots. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you motherfuckers gonna be getting dealt with too in the near future. You know, um, and you motherfuckers that want to be celebrity revolutionaries, charging people thousands, going in the black community, charging thousands of dollars to do lectures and all that type of shit. And we have thousands and thousands of lecturers and scholars that been out here way before most of you motherfuckers came on the scene. They were studying and putting in work. And your motherfucking celebrity uh, clout got you in a position that you are in now in terms of having a spot in this conscious community. Cause a lot of you motherfuckers ain't conscious. I've seen you motherfuckers talk that black power shit on 125th Street, but I've seen you go into mixed audiences, talking about, it's not about color now. It's only one color, and it's not about that. I done heard, I don't care if the white person used the word nigga and all that shit. I've seen you motherfuckers do that trading ass shit. I'm not even gonna put you out there because you motherfuckers know who you are. It's for you motherfuckers. For y'all. You know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same people on these forums. Like I said before, y'all pick the same people. All-star motherfucking cast. Instead of getting people who's really in the trenches, that's really putting in the work, that's out here feeding the homeless, that's really doing some motherfucking work, they're counted out because they don't have celebrity status. You know what I'm saying? And you motherfuckers know exactly who I'm talking about. Yeah, my numbers on the goddamn on YouTube. If you want to discuss it like a motherfucking man and be a fucking man, we can talk about it. Cause the same thing I'm saying now, I'm gonna say then. You know, look at Darren Muhammad, brother Jabari and all them. Brother Ali and all them, brother Dawa Israel. People that put in some serious motherfucking work that don't get recognition. Even myself. But I'm not even tripping off that shit. You know, because I know the right motherfuckers listen at me. Cause see, my hits come in the street. Cause I'm in the street. I'm not sitting behind no computer all motherfucking day long. Waiting to see how many people call me or how many people watch my motherfucking video. I'd rather for one motherfucker to watch it than 100 motherfuckers that sleep to watch it and sit around and critique a motherfucker, knowing you wouldn't certain shit you wouldn't say in some of these people's faces. Cause some of these dudes y'all scared of. Some of them you scared of. I done seen how some of y'all talk to some of you people that call in on your live telecast and all this shit. And then when certain other people call, you act like you act like a bitch. I done seen it. Like I said, I'm gonna be putting you motherfuckers on blast because it's time for a changing of the motherfucking guard. Simple as that. You know. And to all the real motherfucking soldiers, man, I salute y'all. Black Power, Hotep. You know, no matter what your thought process is, if you know who your real enemy is, then I can build with you. You know. So I'm gonna get back with y'all shortly. I got some things I gotta take care of. Peace.